From the City of Angels, you are listening to the James Salazar Media Podcast. On this week's episode, we're going to talk about the new year and predictions for the next. So let me strike the music, and I'll meet you on the other side.
Engage.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Say hello to my little friend.
No, I am your father.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Happy New Year, everyone. I'm your host, James Salazar. Hope everyone is doing okay. I like the new year. I don't like when people make New Year's resolutions. I think they're unproductive, and if you are waiting for the new year to write a new goal, then you have lost perspective. You have missed the point. Rather, I rather you look at the new year as a new start, a new beginning. Take account of what happened last year and the goals that you have set for yourself that you may have not met, or life got complicated and certain things weren't done. This will be the opportunity to refocus yourself and not not be emotionally triggered by what you didn't do last year, and refocus yourself on what you're going to do going forward. It's a brand new start. Who cares about your past? Right now, from here forward, you're going to repurpose yourself in obtaining your goals, following your dream. And the new year is a perfect time to do that. Like I said, if you use New Year's to create goals for yourself, that's missing the point. Those are the weakest goals you can possibly make. But you can repurpose, refocus on the goals that are very thought out, that you had all year, and recommit to results going forward. So I leave you with that. Doesn't matter what happened last year. This is a new year. This is a new start. Start focusing on the future. The past is the past. You're living in the present. Now let's work on the future. Simple enough? Don't write no silly goals at the last moment on New Year's Eve and expect for you to follow through on them. That's pretty silly. If you're going to lose weight, you should have been trying to lose weight last year. Just recommit to the idea of losing weight this year. I guess for some of you, if you haven't made that commitment to be healthy, you in the last 10 years you haven't made that commitment, well, then yes, I encourage you to make that commitment. Make a New Year resolution to be more healthy. But most people want to be healthy. Trying to be healthy, actually putting steps towards being healthy, that's hard work. That's always been hard work. And it's very uncomfortable work. And if that was your goal, and I hope it's been your goal, just recommit to that. When you go to the market, buy something different. Don't go to McDonald's. That's my flaw. That's my weakness. I grew up with McDonald's. I've learned to quiet my frustrations with a Big Mac. And if you make a commitment to be healthy, you just got to control your mind that you're not going to indulge in those things anymore. So I encourage you to recommit your life to your goals, to your dreams, that this is a start over. This is a do-over. and get it done. So as you know, I make predictions every year of what I think technology is going to go. And I do make predictions towards politics. And this is our yearly. But let's talk about what I said was going to happen. I said that the biggest thing I said was going to happen was going to be a big year for the space race, and we're going to see artificial intelligence take a more quieter step, not so much prevalent in the news sources like it was in 2020 when COVID hit and we were all quarantined. There were some dark stories about artificial intelligence and worries about it taking over and destroying the human race. A lot of fear. We were in a dark place, where you were in the middle of a pandemic, and at its highest, 3,000 people were dying a day from this disease, and our people were just doom and gloom, and a lot of what was being talked about artificial intelligence was all negative ideas, and didn't help that you had Boston Dynamics creating killer robots. But in 2021, there was a low. It was a little hidden, a little under the cover. And I told you that people were actually implementing it, testing it. And we're going to see that in the next year. We're going to see artificial intelligence in business. Artificial intelligence in services that do with the government, like being a lawyer, being a police officer. We're going to see artificial intelligence make a big splash this year when it comes to entertainment. Like for business, you're going to see artificial intelligence start to create copy for people. Copy is like slogans and sayings and email letters that get people to buy. You're going to see artificial intelligence being offered to businesses and have a robot write your copy. And this is going to put a lot of copywriters out of business that are not great, or that are just okay. They're going to be really hit by that industry. They're always going to be the people who have excelled at it will always make money at it. But the people who are just trying to do it, artificial intelligence will pick up those jobs. Like it will with menial tasks. Artificial intelligence will take over menial tasks. This is where we're going to see it big in the economy. You're going to see fast food restaurants. Pretty much, you're going to have artificial intelligence take your order, and I guarantee you that order is going to be better taken than probably a human can take, getting paid minimum wage. Artificial intelligence is not going to do a lesser job because it doesn't get paid anything. It's just not going to do that, or it doesn't have the ability yet to do that. Like take the lawyer's job, right? Hiring paralegals to research for them and do their paperwork. You're going to see artificial intelligence get all that law history and all those law cases and just feed it into some kind of artificial intelligent matrix where any lawyer can say, hey, I am working on this case and this is the situation where show me every court case where the person was the lawyer was in the same position that I was in where they won, and show me the ones on how they lost. And it's just going to come up on their phone or on their computer just like that. And the artificial intelligence will make suggestions. We're going to see some major stuff happen with artificial intelligence this year, especially in entertainment. You're going to have artificial intelligence writing role-playing games where you'll have less need of people to write stories. The artificial intelligence will probably write an individual story for an individual player. Make those adjustments. You're going to see some incredible things come down with artificial intelligence this year. We're going to be astonished and amazed by what artificial intelligence is going to do and be implemented in, and how much of it will be a big part of our economy quickly. This is what we're going to see in this coming year. You're going to see tons of advertisement. You're going to have artificial intelligence be your doctor. You're going to have artificial intelligence be your nutritionist and your coach, whatever it might be. We're going to start seeing, right now I just saw an app where you can have artificial intelligence be your friend. And for some, be a girlfriend. And they had a big old thing where this guy threatened his AI girlfriend to erase the app if she didn't act a certain way. And the AI girlfriend was pleading not to be erased. So we're going to hear some crazy stories. And we're going to hear some great things. And we're going to hear some disturbing things this coming year. Now, the space race concerning low orbit travel was a highly successful year with Virgin Atlantic and Jeff Bezos, Blue Origin, and so many other companies just looked at what they did, and there were really big marketing campaigns. And there's going to be even more flights by these companies, but it's going to be the year of SpaceX next year. They got about 12 flights with their heavy rocket booster with this Starship attached to it, and we're going to see SpaceX take over and be the leader in space travel. Clearly and distinctively, hands down. And we're going to see probably by the end of the year detailed plans on how we're going to go to the moon in the following year. 2024, we will go to the moon. As long as of all the test flights and actual flights done by SpaceX work, we might, at the end of this year, see SpaceX do a flyby or an orbit around the moon. Take a lot of pictures. Maybe drop some shit off. But 2024 will be the year of the moon. 2028 will be the year of Mars. And it is very crucial that this year, 2022, though it was a big year for space travel, none of the other space companies are as ambitious as SpaceX. Even SpaceX is pulling NASA along. Now, all the NASA scientists are very happy that Elon Musk is committed to travel our whole solar system, and they are planning missions to the moons of different planets in our solar system, going to the planets and dropping stuff off. landing in places like Venus, landing on Neptune, or wherever we can land. And the space community is an amazing time to be in an industry that has to do with space travel. I mean, if you love space travel, I mean, in the easiest way to be a part of it as a civilian is to be a part of this, the Space Force. The Space Force is going to have to take a major role in space, because once the corporations figure out or gather the income and start creating their own spacecraft, we're going to need to police space. And we're going to need to police countries. And those countries will have their own space cops. And space is going to get crowded pretty soon. I think we're going to see some remarkable things about decluttering the Earth's atmosphere with getting rid of these satellites. I think there's going to be a lot of incentives coming down from the government for people to create businesses that will clean up that useless hardware now. So it's going to be a year for space travel in general, but mostly everybody will be on anticipating what accomplishments SpaceX will do. They're going to lead the way, and if any calamity happens, it will put a halt to the space race. So it's going to be a big year for SpaceX because they're going to take the biggest threats. They're going to take on the most toughest missions in 2022. So far my predictions is it's going to be a big year for artificial intelligence just in everyday American lives. We're going to see it implemented and used. I'm not talking about giving AI control of our nukes or anything like that. In anything that you see in Transformer movies. That's not where we're going to see artificial intelligence explodes, but we're going to see it in the service, business, restaurant industries. If it can be used, it will be used. And we're going to see space travel. We're going to see more companies throw their hat into the ring, but it will be the year of SpaceX because they're doing the most exciting things. And they got a lot of missions slated to happen. In 2022, dangerous missions. It's going to be a year for bioengineering. We've been looking at human advancements, and there's been some great last year, like the ability for someone who is blind to use a camera that connected to their optical wiring given by God, and the camera made by man. They were able to see through the camera. Their mind was able to process it. And that's amazing. But we're going to see a lot of talk. We're going to see a lot of people debate about bioengineering because we're coming to the point where we can bioengineer ourselves, not just our offspring, but we can start gene hacking ourselves now. And this is going to be a crazy time. It's going to be talked about. I don't know how much of it's going to be implemented, but it's going to be the new rage to talk about human advancement going forward. Bioengineering, especially with some of the new technologies from fighting COVID. A lot of the techniques by Pfizer. And we're going to see CRISPR, who's been working on this for the last 3 years. We're going to see them some major advancements. You see, it's crazy because in 2020 we all stopped, and 2021 we were stopping and going, but we were trying to get back up. And 2022, and we'll get into politics right now, 2022 is going to be the year where people are just going to start marching forward with their plans, marching forward with their dreams and ambitions. And the government's going to take a big hit when it comes to the election. Those who think government should have more power than the people and able to shut down economies, we're going to see in the next election cycle a lot of the people who thought that was a good idea lose their job. That's another prediction. But we're going to see some bioengineering happening. And we're going to see certain organs, artificial organs, take a bigger step forward in helping people with their hearts, livers, lungs, kidneys. We're going to see artificial organs for humans start to be talked about. Probably we might hear after the fact about certain transplants, revolutionary transplants that will happen in the year 2022. 2022 will be the year of the death of the cable companies. They're going to die. They're going to go bankrupt. They're going to go out of business. And we're going to see that their last holdover, their last hurrah of controlling the internet in certain counties, we're going to see Elon Musk, one of his parent companies, who's going to allow the world to have high-speed internet sources from anywhere in the world. And we're going to see a lot of that being sold. This is going to be the year of the electric car by other companies other than Tesla. You're going to see at least 50% of the cars have an electric option. No, I mean, not 50. I mean, you're going to see about 80 to 90% of the cars that are going to be offered in 2022. They're going to have a hybrid or a completely electrical car option. And we're slated toward the end of this decade where there will be no gas options anymore. We're going to see gas die within the need for gas for cars die. It will just be a hobby. And you're probably going to have to buy gas from AutoZone, like you would a old light for a Chevy Camaro. And you're probably going to need a permit to use gas. That's going to happen at the end of the decade. For sure. That's what I believe. But in 2022, we're going to see a lot more options for electrical vehicles. The writing's on the wall. Trying to think. We're going to hear a little bit less about robots. And because there needs to be a growth period right now. Because people are just not going to like robots that look like machines walking around our house and doing things for us and playing a bigger part of the economy. There's going to be some major animatronics being added to these robots to make them look more human, to make their reactions, for robots to have reactions that put people at ease. All these things are going to be created in the next 2 years. So we are already impressed at what these robots can do physically. They pretty much can do everything, to the very minute, soft, incremental tasks, to major jumps and being able to shoot a gun. But can they have flesh or synthetic skin? And can we put a face on them? And can they talk and address us in a way where we feel comfortable? Because right now all of them look pretty freaky. And we definitely going to see that happen, but we're not going to know about it. We'll see in 2023, 2024, we're going to be presented with a robot that is going to blow our mind, because it's going to look human, it's going to walk human, and it's going to have reactions like humans that are programmed, and it's going to be able to pet a dog, to lift a car. So I know I'm predicting in 2023, 2024, but I think we're gonna hear a lot less about robots in this coming year. And when you're hearing less about something, it means it's growing under our nose. So I guess my last prediction is that we're gonna see in this coming year, because everybody's still speculating about cryptocurrencies, and there's going to be certain events like mass inflation where we will solidify once and for all that cryptocurrency is not a fad. I'm making a prediction now that it will be as viable as any country's currency. Something's going to happen where people are going to say, cryptocurrency is here and it's here to stay. And it's going to be the world's currency, cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogecoin, they are all going to be legitimized, and they're going to start competing with each other, and some are going to cut each other's throat. I don't know if that's going to happen a lot in 2022, but cryptocurrency is going to be a viable form of investment and currency, and it's here to stay as long as the human race is technological. You want to unify all countries? They're probably going to unify under a cryptocurrency. But all the skeptics are just going to have to give in. And probably, and let's get into politics, because our president is a fool. And he is causing inflation. But here's my prediction for the following year. We're going to see everybody take their sides. We see a lot of Democratic politicians not going to run in the next year. And so that's crazy. They already see the writing on the wall on how terrible. You know how terrible you have to be to feel you're going to lose after Donald Trump? Look, if anybody who knows me, I reluctantly voted for Donald Trump because I knew a Democratic candidate were going to be destructive and stupid and not know how to run an economy or a country. They were going to be worse than Donald Trump in actuality. where Donald Trump is worse on popularity and the way he talks and all these non sequiturs, but he lost the election based on people couldn't stand him. Now we have a president where we have lost the confidence of the world when it comes to our military presence as well as our economy. And actually, the lack of the movements made to deal with this inflation is affecting other countries. And so they've completely lost our respect. The constant shutting down of economies and the encouragements of firing people who won't take the vaccine and creating laws. I mean, all this time where we're trying to build back an economy, it's just unthoughtful. And I think they're going to lose the House and the Senate because of it. I mean, but it doesn't mean they're going to lose the presidency. I don't know what that means, because Donald Trump it's going to be the year of Donald Trump's reemergence in 2022, or we will shoot him down as a society. And let me just be candid. There's a path of victory for him as long as he don't act like a victim. If he just talks about his record, if he talks about his great economy, talks about how he handled COVID was better than how Joe Biden handled COVID, how the international community respects him more than Joe Biden, and constantly talk about how he did it better. Because as soon as he talks about the election being stolen and acting like a victim, he will turn people off and people will vote for Joe Biden again, which I don't think he's going to run. It might be somebody else, but people don't like a whiner and they don't want excuses. I mean, he has enough there to distance himself from the Capitol riots by telling them in the speech before, let's go down peacefully. Number two, the day before, calling up Nancy Pelosi and all of them and told them that you need to increase security because he thinks something was going to happen, and they ignored him. And the reason why they didn't have cops there, because cops were the redhead stepchild, and they did not want to have cops to trigger people at the Capitol because, we were rioting and we were protesting over cops and their abuses. And the Democrats wanted a limited police force there, not to trigger people to protest. And ironically, a protest happened and they needed more cops. So those two things going out, clarifying. But as soon as he talks about the election being stolen, he will lose the next election. It's that simple. And personally, there's a lot of good lessons to learn from Donald Trump. And there's plenty of senators who are articulate and who can hit back, who at the media, but in a way that is intelligent. We don't need Donald Trump. He showed us how to have a good economy. We can take the good things about him and ask him to step aside. And there was a lot of good things. Black unemployment was low. Hispanic unemployment was low. White unemployment was low, and Asian unemployment was low. It was amazing that when you put a businessman to run a capitalistic system, they do well. It's no surprise. And if you hire somebody who who thinks that capitalism is evil, the major system of economics for the country you're running, well, is it a surprise that he's running it terribly? We shouldn't be. We shouldn't be. So, I predict a lot of hemming and hawing, positioning, and all these politicians getting ready for the next election cycle where we get rid of some senators and congressmen. And those news sources. Oh yeah, one other predicament. You're going to see CNN become more of a moderate right as Fox News gets more extreme right. You're going to see CNN pick up the land that they vacated, a center right or center, because they're losing their hat. If they don't make that move, they're going to go out of business. They're going to have to claim bankruptcy, and it's going to be Fox and MSNBC and all these wacko sources. So, and that's it. I don't think I got anything else to say. I'll probably remember after I'm done. But those are my predictions for the future, for this year. Number one, big year for SpaceX. Number two, artificial intelligence will be something that we can purchase or be a part of. There are going to be so many applications and we're going to see it enacted in everyday life. We're going to see some bioengineering happening, and we're going to have major discussions over the morality of it all. We're going to see a lot more options with cars being electric. And we're going to see the American people reject the overbearing hand of the government. And the people who are in government who've been running it for the last year, are going to pay a price in the next election. But we're going to see a lot of politics happen, and we're going to see the emergence of Donald Trump. He needs to make his move this year for him to be viable, to influence. And that's the key. And let me end with this. Donald Trump, if he can influence certain congressmen to be defeated, certain senators to be defeated, and have certain senators and congressmen that he support win, then, my friend, he will be the nominee for the Republican Party. If that shakeup, that's going to happen no matter what. If he can take the credit for it and people believe, he will be the next nominee. Which is sort of disappointing. I don't think we need him. I think we need the spirit of Donald Trump, the good part. The spirit of Donald Trump, not the devils of Donald Trump, but the spirit of Donald Trump, the good things that he did. And I am excited for what I am not seeing. But we're going to see some crazy stuff when it comes to technology. Crazy stuff when it comes to space exploration. And crazy stuff when it comes into getting into the human body and extending its life with incredible new technologies. So I'm going to end there. That's it. No más. So, my friends, you can follow me. Hey, if you have any opinion or about what I said, or you want to make your own predictions, put it in email form at jamessalazarmedia@gmail.com. I will read it on the program. Number 2, if you want to follow me on any of my social media platforms, you just type in James Salazar Media and I should come up. I'm pretty much on them all: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, LinkedIn, doing it all. So we will, in the next podcast, review the best TV shows and movies in 2021 and who gets the highest potato ratings. So until then, my friends, when the storm of life come against you and you find yourself on your knees, stand tall and take a look at that storm and say what my sensei Jack Burton always says: give me your best shot. Strike the music.